Hello, welcome to the Run Testers. I'm Nick.
I'm Kieran.
In this video we'll be comparing the Nike Vaporfly 2
and the Saucony Endorphin Pro 2. So the second gen Saucony Endorphin Pro 2 packs minor updates on the Gen 1 shoe. The S-shaped carbon plate in these shoes is paired with a P-back based midsole foam called Power Run PB. That's similar to the Zoom X foam you'll find in the Vaporfly Next %. You also get Saucony's speed roll technology, essentially a midsole design that helps the foot roll forward and improves efficiency in the toe spring. Overall, the Endorphin Pro 2 offers a little more stability than some carbon racers, and that speed roll design means heel strikers will enjoy the benefits just as much as those midfoot and forefoot runners. The uppers here pack a nice breathable mesh that wraps the foot well, but there's now two lacing tabs that help with a better lockdown. The outsole is unchanged with a pretty standard racing grip setup, minimal outsole rubber for a bit of added durability while keeping things lightweight. Broadly speaking, this Vaporfly 2 is essentially the same shoe as the first generation. The minor upgrades we do see are focused mainly on the upper, and the plasticky vapor weave has been replaced by a less baggy knitted upper. There's some new slight reinforcement in the toe section that keeps the material off your toes as well, and a touch more padding on the tongue to keep the pressure off when you're lacing down tight. The midsole still combines that springy Zoom X foam with a foot-long carbon plate tuned to Nike's patented shape, and overall this shoe is slightly heavier than the first gen, but the run remains largely the same, with excellent cushioning and punch in each step.
Do a quick word on the fit of the shoes. I am true to size in both of these. I've been true to size in Vaporflies always. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely, exactly the same. True to size, no problems with either shoe in terms of fit.
Have you? We both had some mild heel rub at the start of the Vaporfly, didn't we? But we both were able to fix it just by focusing on laces a bit.
Yeah, basically tie it down a bit better. The only other thing I did find sometimes with these, the uppers do sort of bag a little bit more than these, but it's minor details really.
Yeah, and as Kieran is the wide-footed run tester, you haven't had a problem with the narrowness of the platform here?
I haven't actually, no. I mean, you do notice, I can see when you look down, your foot does kind of spill over a little bit, but actually on the run, no problems at all.
Awesome. Right, on to the run test. Both shoes, we've done loads of miles. It's fair to say we've both done a lot, probably more in the Vaporflies because we've used it for so many races.
Yeah, I've run all my PBs in, well, not all my PBs ever, but my most recent marathon PBs in this shoe.
Back in the 80s, Kieran had a very early prototype.
I wasn't running in the 80s, mate. I was only 7 in the 80s, thank you very much.
That was savage, sorry. I have trouble with dates. It feels like the 90s was just yesterday. Yeah, so I've done my current 5k and half PB are actually in the Vaporfly. It's a fantastic shoe. It's really fast, it's really light, it's really versatile. I think for me, it's the most versatile carbon racer that it's really good at 5k. It's still comfy and good enough for a marathon. Maybe I prefer a little more cushion a marathon, but it's certainly got the versatility to do everything.
Yeah, I mean, I love this shoe. I would still choose this to go and race a marathon in it. I think it's one of those shoes that when you put it on, it makes you feel like you're about to go and race.
Yeah. And
then just delivers from start to finish throughout that run for me in terms of kind of the pop, the response, kind of the overall comfort. I would choose it as a marathon shoe. I don't tend to race shorter than that, so I defer to you on that. But yeah, I think actually, even to this day, this would be the shoe that I would go to sort of race with intent.
And this is definitely a shoe that's got the super shoe feel, very soft foam, like all that stuff, you feel real squish and bounce. That's not the case in the Endorphin Pro 2, not necessarily in a bad way, but it feels very different on the run.
Yeah, this is a shoe that I might veer towards in sort of training. I do think this has a little bit more stability than this one. And for that reason, that's why I sort of do more training miles in it. I think also another thing that I compare the sort of difference in this, if you're looking for something that needs a little bit more comfort, in the overall kind of uppers in the heel construction, you get a little bit more padding and cushioning here, which again, I think sort of lends itself a little bit more to doing those kind of day in, day out sort of training miles in it. The other thing, I think this sort of runs a little bit more like a traditional kind of running shoe than the Vaporfly. Yeah, for sure.
I think it's really interesting actually. They both have full-length carbon plates and a PBA-based foam in the midsole, but really the efficiency and performance on this shoe for me all comes from the speed roll technology, the rolling technology in the shoe. You're not being bounced and punched forward in the same way. You just very smooth, and I find when I'm on my game, this shoe feels amazing. Like if I'm really on it, I'm running at a pace I can hold comfortably, but I'm running quick, I'm rolling through. I've done like kind of 50-mile marathon pace runs in it really nicely. When I veer off my game, it's a lot less forgiving than the Vaporfly, I think. Like so in a half marathon, I blew up in it, and the last few miles, it was too firm. I don't find it firm at all when I'm running well, actually. But when it is a firmer feel than this, but I don't find it too firm at all. But when I'm running badly and I'm starting to tire, I feel it is a bit harsh, especially under the forefoot. You don't get kind of saved from a terrible run. The Vaporfly can't save you from a terrible run, but it will save you a bit more than this shoe.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're getting more from this in terms of that feel, that super shoe feel.
Yeah.
It's kind of instantly there the minute you kind of start running in them than you might from this. The other thing which is really interesting, you've got that super shoe feel, the overall kind of uppers and the feel around this feel very stripped back, racery. This more normal, more regular. So yeah, I think there's kind of, I don't know, this feels more like a sports car to this being a little bit, not a saloon, but you know what I mean? It's like somewhere a bit further back down that road in terms of overall kind of race feel when you put it on.
Definitely. I think I'd probably give it a little edge. There are some runners who won't like the really squishy feel of the Vaporfly, and this provides a very fast ride in a different way that is more stable, that is kind of maybe tuned to certain runners just, for whatever reason, and it is another great option to think about if you just don't really get all the fuss around the Vaporfly.
If you want something that's going to have, I think, a bit of extra versatility, then this might be an option. Again, I always sort of talk about this. If you're only going to buy one shoe, maybe that you want a shoe that's going to be able to take you a little bit through training and racing. This has probably got more of that in it than this one.
Yeah, although in that case, buy the Endorphin Speed. All right, very quick start to the verdict thing. We'll just say, big race day, what are you going for?
It's easy for me. It's going to be this one.
Same. But if we talk about it in more general terms, that is a little bit cheaper. It's £190. This is £225 really, even though this colour was £210 at the start. For me, in terms of pure performance, I'm definitely spending the extra to get the Vaporfly.
Absolutely, I would. Just if I want to go after a marathon PB that I'm chasing, it means a lot to me. I've done a lot of training. This is the shoe that I would pick. Yeah,
and then when we're talking about more general use, I agree that this is a shoe that I'd use probably more often. When I was testing the Endorphin Pro for the first time, the original one, I really felt this could be a general trainer. Then I did test the Endorphin Speed, and I do think the extra comfort you're getting there makes it a bit edgy, even though this is slightly quicker on race day. But I feel like this is a shoe that does offer quite a lot outside of pure race days.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I think this is a shoe that again, I always sort of talk about it being a little bit more democratic. You might be able to use it across a different kind of variety of pace and sort of training sessions than you would for the Vaporfly. That for me anyway, just feels like a shoe I would only really ever lace up on race day. People don't do that. I've seen people running along river paths in this, which I think is personally bonkers because it rips up quite easily. But
yeah. That's actually one thing also about that is that it looks exposed on the bottom, but actually I didn't find it got ripped up, but using it in the forest quite a lot. You can take a chunk out of this occasionally, but not that much. It's quite hard, like foamy.
Yeah, there's definitely a durability, note of this bit of positivity on that.
Other big plus point is Kieran's such a huge fan of this checkered flag cutaway, and I think that's one reason you might consider buying this over this, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a chef and you wear checkered trousers and you want something to match in with these definitely win over those for sure.
I love that you went for chef and not like racing car driver with the flag. That's probably what they were going for.
It's not. It's chef's trousers. Chef's trousers.
So yeah, for me it's the Vaporfly over the chef's trousers. Kieran's the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, both really good shoes and offer slightly different carbon feels. That's it, guys. That is our comparison of the two shoes. Please do go and check out our multi-tester reviews of both shoes. And we've got one on the Endorphin Pro 1 and 2. Loads of Vaporfly videos. We've got a race test I did in the Endorphin Pro 2. So there's loads more content. If you want to know more about the shoes, have we got the videos? Yeah,
we've also got an Endorphin Pro 2 versus a Speed 2.
Oh, we do, yeah.
So we've done a lot of Endorphin Pro vids. Check them all out. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.